Alright, here's something that has been a popular request to do a video on. That is my Eureka Self-Propelled upright vacuum. And the model on this would be, flip it over here. It's a 5048B. Says it's 5.7 amps, but if I'm going to be honest with you, this actually has a replacement 7 amp metal motor inside. So, other than that, there's really nothing that I really did to this when I got it other than just dusting it off for this video. But I've had this now for about 5 or maybe 6 years now. I got it from the thrift store for $6. So besides the fact that the motor had been replaced, there's a couple of things to note about. First of all, the outer bag here has got a little bit of a tear in there, and also sticker is kind of tearing up, and there's like a few rust spots somewhere on this hood, or maybe it could be just from the dirt that had been sitting for quite a while, but nonetheless it works. Unfortunately, the only thing to note about this machine once I do a demo on is that it doesn't have a belt put in place. It was already snapped when I first got it, so, but at least the bag is emptied, so you'll be able to at least see some of the self-propelled, if you can be able to tell on camera or not. But anyways, I've been after one of these machines for quite a while back then, because I used to have one of these before. It was actually my first real vacuum that I ever collected. The one I had before, I picked up from my local vacuum store. They just gave it to me when I was pretty much moving on from the toy vacuums that I was playing with as a child. So when I had this, I never really did got to use it, because from what I was told that it broke. I'm sure that was why they gave it to me, but for what I remembered from that other one was that it was missing the brush roll and bottom plate, and then also it had a replacement outer bag. This was not the bag that it came with from my other one. It had a white replacement bag that had the newer Eureka logo on this side. I actually have a picture of me with that vacuum, but I just don't have it with me for this video. But yeah, I think I've only had that for about maybe a couple years or so, until we ended up getting rid of it. I don't know why or when that happened, but ever since then I've been looking for another one of these, and I'm just super happy to have one now. I'm kind of toying with the idea of actually replacing the outer bag with one of those white replacement bags, because I think it looks better with it like that. But at least this shows just how original the machine is. So I do think it's pretty unique that it has a self-propelled feature. Even without a belt, it does work on like a Hoover, but definitely on the Hoovers, like the Concepts, for example, they do have a better self-propelled mechanism than these, because they are just much more faster. But everything else is pretty much your standard F&G style upright. It has these ridiculous paper bags that I dislike so much now. I love these machines to death. Like, they are one of my most favorite vacuums ever, or at least for directors, that is. They are without a doubt the favorite, but I just hate replacing these outer paper bags inside them. But at least with these outer bags, especially with this original one, I can give a credit to where these can be washed super easily by hand, where you don't necessarily need to put it in the washing machine. But unless they're better taken care of properly, I do question the longevity or reliability of these outer bags. Cord is pretty short, but I do think that can be forgiven. I do prefer the slider mechanism for the height adjuster, not like the dial naps, but I'm pretty much used to the dial naps to where that's really not much of a problem anyways. But yeah, definitely I prefer the slider from a consumer point of view. Now, I won't say that this is my most favorite self-propelled model out there, because I know there are several more out there that I personally like the looks more of over this. But nonetheless, it's nostalgia, and that's what really grew a place inside of me for this. So anyways, without further ado, I'll go ahead and get this going. At least one thing I will say that I do like about this one is that it does have a quick cord release hook, because I know there are some F&G operates, especially sanitaries, that don't even have that whatsoever. And yeah, speaking of sanitaries, this is pretty much going to sound exactly like a sanitary, so here we go. So even if I did put a belt on this, I think it would have been too powerful to do a demo on this rug. But other than that, it's a good machine nonetheless. Anyways, hope you've enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching.